Hey, what's up, YouTube? Today I got a video on these Pro King remanufactured torque converters. These things, in my experience, are no good. So, I have a 98 Chevy C1500, nothing special, got the 4L60E transmission. I had my torque converter lockup was starting to slip. Diagnosed it with a scan tool. 100% sure that's the problem. I go to advance. I get my first converter. Or no, sorry, it was this one. Now, when I got this, it was bone dry of fluid. Obviously, it has fluid in it now because I ran it. Was bone dry and fluid. This thing was plagued with problems. It's got a one-way sprag in there that makes the torque converter hold. The sprag was bad. If I'd give it over 50% throttle, it would start slipping any gear. It would pop out, catch back in gear. Then you might as well forget about torque converter lockup. That didn't happen. All right. So, went back to the parts store. This was the replacement they gave me. So I put this one in. Now this one, sprag worked fine. But the torque converter lockup would slip under, I would say, medium to heavy load. I could see right on the scan tool slipping anywhere from 40 to 300 RPMs. You could feel it in the truck, slipping and catching. You could hear it. And it wasn't any good. So I looked online thinking maybe, well, is there a break-in procedure? And a couple forums suggested that, you drive 150 miles, not highway driving. You want to be going through the gears. You want to be engaging the torque converter and disengaging. So I drove over 100 miles. Decent stretch of it was 70 miles an hour. So what I was doing was I would tap the brake pedal, which when your brake switch comes on, it automatically disengages the torque converter. So I was engaging it, disengaging it. I'd say I probably did that over 50 times through the whole trip. So, no excuse why this thing couldn't have broken in my trip. Still didn't break in. So now I'm at the point where I've done this job twice now. I've changed my converter twice. Still isn't working properly. So I went and purchased a whole nother transmission from a salvage yard. A used unit, one that was guaranteed. Had a warranty. It was driven. It was tested. No problems. But I said, I'm not going to change my whole transmission. My transmission is fine. It's the torque converter. So the torque converter was an original GM unit. They're very, to me, easy to spot because you can see with the reman, they got to cut these open and they got to re-weld them. On a factory unit, it's not going to have all this weld build up. It's going to be kind of a sharp angle here, and you'll see a very nice weld. Obviously, a robot did it. Plus, the GM stickers are in this area here. So you can spot a factory unit. So I put the used factory unit in it, and guess what? It works like a dream. Drives like a dream, shifts like a dream. Torque converter locks up just fine. No problems at all. So, but here's my issue. I've had to do this job 3 times now. 3 times. According to the book, it takes 10 hours to do this job. I can do it in 6, laying on my back with hand tools in the carport. But we're talking 3 days here. 3 days lost. I lost a job that I had scheduled because I couldn't get to it whenever I agreed to with the customer. I mean, obviously the customer was understanding. You can't help vehicle problems, but the job still has to get done. So I'm the one who lost out. So my question is, is anybody even going to pay for this? So I have 2 junk converters, and I had to end up getting a used transmission from a salvage yard to fix the problem. And these converters are sold everywhere. They sell these at Advance, AutoZone, Napa, online. For my particular transmission, the 4L60E, this is the part number it gives you. I mean, it tells you right on the box it's for a 4L60E. And then you might say, well, maybe there was just a bad batch at the factory. I thought about that too until I looked at the manufacture dates on these converters. So this one is the first one I got. Try to do this one-handed without dumping it off the table. So as you can see, that date says 7/10 of 23. Okay. Then we look at this converter, the one that they replaced it with. That date code, come on, focus. Come on. There we go, 5/12 of 22. So these 2 converters are over a year apart from each other in manufacturing. And in a year's time, neither one of them are manufactured or remanufactured correctly. So I would have to say that, in my opinion, if you need a torque converter for your ride, you're going to be better off sourcing a used one from a salvage yard than buying one from the parts stores. Now, I know there's other companies out there like Monster Transmissions and stuff. They do, I think they do rebuild converters and stuff. I don't know. I haven't purchased from them, so I can't say anything about them. But what I can say is this is the same converter sold at all the local parts stores. And as far as I'm concerned, I think you should stay away from them, because 2 bad converters in a row, how many would I have had to go through before a good one would have been found? If a one would have been found at all. And who would have paid? What if I had, what if I was a shop owner and, they use Advance and Napa parts and stuff like this. Who would you charge the labor to? The customer? Is the parts store going to reimburse you for your labor if you had to pay your mechanic 3 times to do this job before it got done correctly? I think it's just complete nonsense. So I wanted to share this with everybody, and my advice is stay far, far away from these converters, because while the price may be attractive, the headache you're going to put up with is not going to be, I promise you.